go again?
Oh, no, not again.
You've seen it before, haven't you?
Dom, how long have we been doing this?
Once more unto the bridge, dear friends.
Again and again and again until we're both dead.
Hello and welcome to You've Seen It Before, movie reviews with connections in mind. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is the sequel to 2020's Sonic the Hedgehog. It is directed by Jeff Fowler and stars Ben Schwartz as the voice of Sonic alongside Jim Carrey, James Marsden, and Idris Elba, among others. And this film features the blue hedgehog himself, Sonic, up against his match in Knuckles, who, after bringing Dr. Robotnik back from the Mushroom Planet, now has to deal with Knuckles trying to defeat Sonic, as well as find a secret that is hidden on Earth, which is the source of ultimate power. Now, this video review will contain spoilers of Sonic the Hedgehog 2, as well as some other things. I'll be doing my spoiler-free thoughts first, so I'll be doing that, my spoiler-free review up front, but just so you know, there will be some spoilers later on in this review. So with that in mind, let's get into some spoiler-free thoughts on Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Is it a good movie? Is it a good sequel to the original Sonic? Is it worth seeing in theaters? I would say this is definitely worth seeing in theaters, especially, you know, if you have a connection to the Sonic franchise, whether that be you grew up playing the games, or you watched the original shows, you know the franchise, you're going to get a lot out of this film. But even if you're not, I think this is still a decent enough family movie. As far as being a sequel to the original Sonic the Hedgehog, I would say this is definitely a decent enough sequel. It does have a lot of the sequelized problems that come with these kinds of sequels. But overall, it does some things right, whereas, you know, it brings back the fan favorite characters, and it goes bigger than this one, which is what a good sequel should do. And I think this one, it goes even deeper into what made the original Sonic good, as far as, you know, the original Sonic, there was that whole controversy about when that first trailer came out. Sonic looked nothing like the games. Everyone freaked out, and the studio decided, you know what, we're going to go back, we're going to re-CGI all the Sonics so he looks more like the games. And yes, that was a necessary step, and it worked out well in its favor. And this one, I think they doubled down on that, well, by bringing in, you know, fan favorite characters from the games, such as, you know, Tails and Knuckles. They bring back Dr. Robotnik, and, you know, they lean hard into that. I would say this is definitely much more of a video gamey movie as compared to the first one, whereas the first one, it had video game characters, but it was more of a, you know, buddy comedy road trip movie, sort of. And this one is very much more of a video game movie, in that, you know, these characters are now in the real world, and they have there's a MacGuffin that they have to go find, and they're gonna you have the bad guys and the good guys trying to find it, and, you know, and then you have the big final boss battle, and, you know, it very much feels like a video game. And from that point of view, I think this is probably one of the better video game movies that we've ever gotten. However, this emphasis on the video game-ness of it all does make lead to some issues, especially in the characterization. You know, the live-action characters really suffered this time around, whereas in the original Sonic, you had Sonic and James Marsden playing off each other, and they had kind of pretty decent rapport going on there. This one, they're separated from each other for most of the movie, and the live-action characters are kind of in their own separate thing. They're really only there for one plot point, and the way they get to that plot point, for one, I kind of saw it coming a mile away, and, you know, you could say, you know, kids movie, like, it's not, it's fine that it's not, you know, a huge surprise. It's like, well, yeah, fine, but the way they got to that point was so contrived, and when they finally get around to doing it, it's like, okay, man, they really bent over backwards to do this one scene, and then after that, like, there's really no point for James Marsden or really any other of the live action characters aside from Dr. Robotnik to be there, and that's kind of a shame because for the most part, I kind of enjoyed their those characters in the original. In this one, there's this whole side plot with a wedding in Hawaii, and like it bogs the movie down tremendously, and like there's nothing funny about anything that's going on here. Like, I mean, the situations they're trying to be funny, it's just not working, and then that really bogs the movie down, especially. And then when the final battle happens, it just so happens it's like, oh wow, they were really close to what are the odds that everything was going to go down in Hawaii, near Hawaii? It's like, really? Okay. This whole side plot could have been cut and you would lose nothing. I mean, to be fair, the whole, the camaraderie that we get between Sonic and Tails is pretty fun. And, then also between, Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, they have a fun thing going. I mean, if you just focused on Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Dr. Robotnik in a movie, I think this would have worked a lot better. It would have been a lot cleaner. However, you get these obligatory live-action characters in there, and it doesn't necessarily work, I think, in my opinion. So that's where I think the movie suffers, and there is definitely some logic leaps that, yeah, there were some logic leaps in the original movie too, but they're a lot more distracting in this one. It's not a huge spoiler, it's especially since it's the first 15 minutes of the movie, and you see in the trailer where Sonic and Knuckles first square off, and they're very equally matched, and it's a very tense fight. And the way it ends, it's like, really? That's what ends the fight? That's so stupid. But, I mean, that's more like the writers kind of wrote themselves into a corner. It's like, well, we gotta move it along somehow. Okay, let's do this. And so, yeah, those sorts of situations happen a lot more often in this movie, and that's why I think it's a bit of a distraction. However, I don't want to dump too hard on this this movie because, like I said, I'm a fan of the Sonic franchise. I didn't necessarily grow up playing the games, but I mean they were always in the popular sphere growing up, and I did end up playing the games later on. And the classic games, they're awesome. I love it, and I knew enough about the franchise to get things, and I love the callbacks in this movie. It took them, in the original film, it takes place in Green Hills, which is of course the Green Hills zone from the first game, and you have the Labyrinth zone reference in this one, and James Marsden's character's ringtone is the original Sonic music. I mean, those are some fun callbacks, and if you're a fan of the franchise, I think you're gonna get a kick out of this. Overall, I would say this film, it's a fun time. It's a fun family movie. Not as good as the original Sonic, in my opinion, but it's still pretty solid. And, they teased it well in the original Sonic, where at the end, where they tease, Tails is coming. There's a tease in the mid-credit scene of this Sonic 2 that actually got me really excited for a third one. So we'll see if that comes to fruition. So, if I was going to give Sonic the Hedgehog 2 a letter grade, I would say this is a B-. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but it's fun enough, and it's worth seeing in the theater, in my opinion. So, those are my main thoughts, spoiler-free thoughts on Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Now let's get into some spoiler talk as certain plot developments and character arcs that may seem familiar to you, and where you may have seen them before. So, I mean, this whole plot of, I think the whole reason that James Marsden's character is even in this movie is, again, like I said, the one plot point where he, has ruins the wedding and throws the ring to save Sonic and Tails from an avalanche. Okay, yeah, that was basically his whole reason for being there. And then he also gives, the Sonic equivalent, I guess, of where with great power comes great responsibility, where how you define a hero sort of thing, give the life lesson. Looking back, it's like, man, this feels a lot like an Alvin and the Chipmunks movie from the last decade or so, where you have the animated characters, the kid characters, alongside the live-action human character, who's kind of the dad figure. He tries to impart the wisdom. The animated characters go on hijinks, even add new animated characters for them to bounce off of from the previous franchise. And they have the cliche of "don't ruin my wedding," and then of course the wedding gets ruined, and they have to fix it somehow. And then of course by the end of the movie, it's like, oh man, I finally learned that life lesson that my dad was trying to teach me. Again, it's very similar to those movies. Better than the Alvin and the Chipmunks sequels for sure, but it is very reminiscent of that. And I think this is a fairly common family movie cliche. It's just sort of a shame that it kind of has to taint this movie, and and then also we have the the MacGuffin of the Chaos Emeralds. I guess is the Master Emerald. It would be, I guess, I didn't know the Master Emerald. That might be one of the later games that I never played, but I guess it's made out of the 7 Chaos Emeralds, which I know of, and you have the bad guys and the good guys trying to find it. Very National Treasure-ish when you have the map and the clues trying to point all across the world. Yeah, that's like I said, National Treasure, but other movies have also used this cliche, Indiana Jones sort of thing. But yeah, those are my main points of comparison. But I'm sure there's others. What did you think of Sonic the Hedgehog 2? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What about my analysis? Do you agree, disagree? Did I miss anything? I probably missed something. Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate whatever audience I can get. Be sure to look for my next movie review, which will be for Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore, which comes out next week, as well as my next TV review, which will be for overall review of Season 2 of Star Trek Picard. And if you like this video or any other video on my channel, please give me a like, share, and especially subscribe. I'd very much appreciate it. Again, thank you so much for watching, but just remember, there is nothing new under the sun, and yes, you have seen it before.